Happy Monday. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. I'm Jason DeRusha. Hope you had a nice weekend. I spent all of Saturday sitting in the cafeteria at Rosemount High School. You guys have a lovely cafeteria in Rosemount, let me tell you. A little high school debate tournament that I was helping our team from Maple Grove. And then yesterday I went to visit beautiful Osceola, Wisconsin. We were chasing waterfalls, so that was pretty nice. Hope you had some fun this weekend, too. If you are off today, you'll be able to spend some nice time outside. Here's a look at your weather forecast today. Yeah, it's going to be a little more cloudy. Yesterday, we had a lot of sun out there, a little more cloudy, but maybe a chance for a shower. S&E. I think that's south and east. Riley's trying to mess me up with like a very fancy forecast here, but it's still going to be about 5 degrees above your average for this time of year, so 66. So enjoy it. Enjoy this Monday and this nice stretch of fall weather we've had for sure. Let's talk about what has been our top story for the last 24 plus hours. There is fear, there is frustration for sure. And this morning we still don't have any answers as to why 1, 2, 3 people possibly opened fire in a popular bar, popular area of St. Paul. 1 person killed, 14 injured. All of this early yesterday morning, just after midnight, Sunday morning at the 7th Street Truck Park, which is kind of like a food hall concept across the street from Caseta. It's just down the block from XL Energy Center. Police tell us they have 3 people in custody. Those people are in custody in the hospital because they all were shot or injured. Some neighbors told us they're stunned and concerned. And so what we're asking you today is whether the news of this shooting changes how you feel about safety in the Twin Cities. This happened after midnight. It's the second mass shooting at a bar, nightclub. We had one in Minneapolis about 6 months ago. So we're curious. This is right near the X. Minnesota Wild season gets started. We're about 10 days away from the next event at the X, which will be a Wild game. Now, for sure, I mean, the scene is different in our downtown areas because there are fewer people around because of COVID and people working from home. And certainly things are different when you go to a Wild game at 7 o'clock at night versus 12:15 in the morning. But how are you feeling? We're sort of taking the temperature of you, so leave your comments on Facebook. Let's update you on what else we know about that shooting, and I'd like you to hear from one of the people who was inside the truck park, inside the bar, when the gunfire started. He was right next to the woman who was killed.
As you look around, everyone's around like, I'm hit, I'm hit. You know, there's a couple people that are hit, and you're just trying to check on yourself, making sure you're okay.
Friends identified the victim, and police confirmed that Markeisha Wiley is the one who was killed. She's an animal care worker. One close friend tells us that Markeisha was magnetic, and she's being remembered for being bright, joyful, supportive, just tragic. She's just having fun inside a popular club on a Saturday night, Sunday morning. So this area, very popular, very busy. A lot of businesses, important businesses that have been, you know, they're family owned. They've been a part of our community for decades, like Casetas and Patrick McGovern's. So many great spots on that West 7th corridor. And they tell us they were just starting to get back in the groove again after surviving the last 20 months or so of pandemic. Now, many business owners are worried that these scenes, this of crime tape in front of the truck park there, will, you know, deter people from coming back. Just last month, the city of St. Paul announced that crime in St. Paul was at its lowest point over the last 5 years. Caseta's owner, Dave Caseta, though, says that along West 7th, things have felt different, and they've been trying to get city leaders to address safety amid growing concerns over the last year.
We really would like the administration to start addressing this stuff, all of us, the residents and the business owners. It's heartbreaking.
My reaction was sadness because I've been here 40 years, and in 40 years I've never seen anything like this.
Here's the mayor's statement, and he spoke as well yesterday afternoon, but just talking about the shocking scenes, the devastation in the community, and the bigger picture of working to bring more proactive public safety strategies, more urgent than ever. We expect to hear from city leaders today, including the police chief of St. Paul, and obviously they'll talk about big picture crime stuff. The 3 people who are in custody, 2 of them at least are convicted felons with very long criminal histories. So questions about, these things are complicated, right? The criminal justice system. Should these 2 men have been out in the community? Should they not have? They certainly shouldn't have had guns. But many questions about all of the factors that go into something like this, and hopefully we'll learn more today. Troubles for Southwest Airlines lingering into right now. About 2,000 flights were canceled over the weekend. FlightAware showing Southwest has canceled more than 300 today, and we just checked. There are a couple out of MSP, 2 that were scheduled to leave around 6 this morning that were canceled. Southwest blamed air traffic control and weather-related challenges. The FAA said, no, there's no air traffic control issues, and the weather's fine for every other airline in the country. So what are you talking about? CBS News reporting that this may be connected to a vaccine mandate at Southwest, that perhaps they're having staffing troubles. So whatever the case may be, for thousands of travelers, they're hosed. You're like, we don't really care what the cause is. Southwest did apologize. Today is Indigenous Peoples Day. At least 14 states, including Minnesota. Hundreds of cities are observing the holiday. The day honors and celebrates Native American histories and cultures. There's a sunrise ceremony happening, right about now at B'day-Makaska in Minneapolis. This day is a federal holiday, and the federal holiday is Columbus Day. And so there's no mail delivery. Banks are closed. But in general in Minnesota, schools are open. I know Hennepin County libraries are open. Some city offices are closed across Minnesota. Parking meters are free in some cities as well. So check on that. But Indigenous Peoples Day, Columbus Day, both being celebrated today. More than 160 soldiers from Minnesota are ready to head overseas. Deployment ceremony, always emotional. This one at Fort Snelling. Soldiers are going to Kuwait as part of Operation Spartan Shield. We talked with a number of them, and they tell us they're ready to get to work on their mission.
I'm definitely really excited. I think we have a really great group. It'll be a great experience, and we'll get to learn a lot and experience a lot of new things. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're so grateful to these soldiers and their sacrifice and their families too, right? Oh, it's so much work for the families as they are going it alone, but hopefully not entirely alone as we all give them the support we can, right? These soldiers are going to provide technical and tactical guidance to strengthen military defense relationships in Southwest Asia and the Middle East. Today is the 125th Boston Marathon. It was canceled last year, postponed this spring, so this is the first time that the Boston Marathon will be happening in the fall. Runners will use a rolling start to avoid crowding. So that'll be interesting, and they'll begin the race at their own pace instead of that one massive start. Facebook is soon going to prompt teens to take a break from scrolling Instagram, and boy, that's going to do a lot of good, isn't it? It's one of several changes the company is promising. Lots of debate about this whistleblower and Facebook's internal research showing that Instagram use harms some teens. Facebook says it will also nudge teens if they repeatedly look at the same content. Kind of the idea if they're obsessing about something, Facebook would say hey, you all right? So we'll see. I know my kids, when they finish with Facebook, though, or when, well, they're not on Facebook, just the olds are on Facebook, but when they're done with Instagram, then it's off to Snapchat, and then it's off to the Discord server or whatever else. TikTok, then that's really where the action is right now. William Shatner is not going to space tomorrow. Blue Origin postponing the flight by one day. It was going to be Tuesday. Now it's going to be Wednesday. High winds in the forecast. William Shatner, known for playing Captain Kirk on the original Star Trek series. He's 90 now. So that'll make him the oldest person to go to space. All right, we're talking safety in today's Talker here on the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update, asking how you feel about safety and whether the mass shooting from the overnight in St. Paul changes how you feel. Joanne, I won't feel safe in the cities until we have stricter gun violence protection policies. Thanks, Joanne. Here's Kimberly. This happened 6 blocks from my house. Wow. Such a great part of St. Paul, too. Kimberly says she and her husband are moving out as soon as their lease is up in April, so over the city. I think it's been stressful for people who live in our urban core, obviously dealing with all the stresses that everybody's been dealing with, but there's no question that crime, homelessness, all of these things have been on the rise, and that's changed the vibe. Bradley says, I just assume things haven't changed downtown regarding safety. I work downtown a few days a week, so I still keep up my caution. For example, not using my phone in the Skyway and paying attention to my surroundings. It's really good advice, Bradley. I sort of feel that way, too. Somebody asked me last week, like, how I feel about safety and going out, because I go out to restaurants all the time, and I haven't changed my behavior, but I am keeping my guard up. I'm still coming to the cities. Thanks, Bradley. Here's Annette. Yes, definitely, I wouldn't be caught outside in the dark downtown anymore. So sad that people think killing each other will solve their problem. Yeah. Annette, I think there's something to that, right? I mean, obviously, if you're avoiding the dark in the cities right now, because of the kind of early sunset, your hours are limited. But, you know, after midnight on the weekend, I don't know, like, I hesitate. I used to stay out later, and now I do consider that for sure. It's a tough one. It's, you know, with this situation, I think a lot of questions still as to what the reason for this shooting was, and we'll be asking those questions all day. We'll update you as we learn more. On TV, of course, and always right here on CBSN Minnesota. We are your only local streaming news source, available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.